So here we are with our, I think this is our third Spilling the Tea, and hosted by Carol Augusto and myself, Debra Neill-Baker. But it's, produced by Serious Business, which is our annual conference that we've been doing for 22 years. And this year, it's all different. We're doing fully virtual in January. And we decided it would be great to, prior to Serious Business, that we have some, conversations with some of the people that you are going to, hear from on Serious Businesses in January. And it's called Spilling the Tea. And of course, what that means is speaking the truth. And we are very privileged to have Naomi with us today. And I'm anticipating, Serious Business, the intention is to expose, evoke, and evolve our thinking. So with that, I know that Naomi is going to inspire us and have us think about our industry and how, we're operating now in lieu of the pandemic and all the racial tensions and just everything. It's like, so Naomi, let's start with, we were just talking about before we actually went live, we're like, how are you doing?
Yeah. That's our habit question, right? That we have for everybody.
Habit question, but you know what? Now, when we ask that question, I really do expect and welcome. It's not just, kind of an automatic question. We really do want to know. And we want to know from Naomi to give us a little of her journey on how she got to where she is today. So, yeah. Naomi, tell us about you.
Well, I mean, it could go on forever, but I make sure we've got 30 minutes, so I'll keep it short. But long story short, I've always wanted to do hair. It was something that, was always in my bones. When I was a kid, I was telling this story on a podcast recently that I was 6 years old and I was cutting my Barbie doll's hair. And I decided, ooh, they're looking good. Let me cut my hair. So I cut all around my hairline and tried to hide the hair under the bed. And my mom was doing my hair and she was like, is your hair breaking off? What's going on with your hair? I'm like, yeah, it's breaking off. I don't know what's wrong with it. And the first thing she does is go under the bed and find the hair that I cut. And my dad said, that was like the first time he knew that I was going to be a hairdresser. I wanted to be a hairdresser. I wanted to do the vocational program in my high school. But my dad was like, you need to focus on your studies and I want you to go to college. And then if you decide from there you want to go to school, then you can do so. And so thankfully for me, the Aveda Institute in Washington, D.C. opened up pretty much the same year I graduated from college. And I enrolled. I worked at a salon as a receptionist and was just really inspired by all the things that people could do to make women feel beautiful. And so that's where I started my journey with the Aveda Institute back when it was in Estee Lauder School. And then I just grew from there.
Well, how did you happen to choose Aveda Institute?
I was working at an Aveda salon at the time.
Okay. So that was, and curious about, Aveda and your experience as a woman, a hairdresser and woman of color, and how that journey has unfolded over the last, how long have you been a hairdresser? 20 years, you said?
Almost just reaching 20 years. Yep. Yeah. I think that, and it's funny because I had this conversation with Tatum several months back about how I grew up. And I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. In my school, I was pretty much, one of the few Black people in school. So I was always surrounded by people who didn't look like me. When I did come to being able to service people that did look like me, I honestly really didn't know what to do or how to do it, their hair. I knew how to do my own, but it was even a challenge for me. And it was always expected that being a Black woman, that I could relate to other women who look like me and I could make their hair look great. And I just didn't have the confidence then. So I faked it until I made it.
Well, that's a like the flip of the coin, and what, most people, because, for years it's been for, and I'm not a hairdresser, but I feel like pretty much I've been in the industry for over 40 years and I relate to the hairdresser and love the hairdresser. But over the years, I've always seen that in order to, highly textured hair requires some training that has a little more, it's a distinct training with, and a lot of white hairdressers, they just don't have the training or the competency. It's not really that they don't want to do it, they don't know how to do it.
Well, it starts on the school level, because even though I'm a Black woman, even when I was in school, there was like a segment, maybe a week long, if that, of studying textured hair, and it really didn't encompass, the history and the culture of being Black. So I was actually looking forward to the most being in school was learning how to do hair types like mine. And when I was always the default person, I had to fake it, and then I installed this like fake confidence in myself, and those around me, those around me just kind of gravitated to me because I didn't wear my hair like natural like it is now. I wore it the way that I saw it as being beautiful and what was accepted by society in our books. And anything that was around was just straight and smooth. So even if there was an opportunity to wear it the way that I wear it now, it was just deemed just unprofessional. And, that's not the way that the hair should be.
I love your hair.
It's so funny that in the past few years that I've been wearing my hair like this, I have gained the most confidence in my life. I'm 39 years old. I have, 2 daughters, 17 and 12. And between the 3 of us, we all wear our hair natural. And I think that when I'm walking and I'm out and about in public and people see my hair, whether they're white, Black, brown, they walk up to me and tell me how much they love my hair. And it gives me this sense of like, I like walk a little taller, like even though my hair is tall, I walk even taller. And, I see women look at me like, even though they don't have their hair like mine, Black women, they're like, how do you have the confidence to do that? And so I feel like me wearing my hair like this is giving more inspiration and just confidence in other women to just embrace their natural.
Yeah, I love that. I've always, I've always had this personal philosophy. The least I have to do to look and feel good, the better, the more confidence I have. It's like when you accept, and not just accept, you go beyond accepting who you are and everything about yourself, but you actually embrace it and you celebrate it. And that is, I completely, I can see that. I've always, like you said, I've always been one of those women that, see this beautiful Black head of hair and like, oh my God, I just love that, Yeah.
So, I had people ask me if I permed it, and I'm like, no, this is the way that it naturally grows out of my head. And, I think that the attention that I get when I first started wearing it like this, I was confused because I spent so many years hating my hair and hating the journey that, of my hair, that I thought that other people around me felt the same way. So it was almost embarrassing when people would look at me. I didn't know how to react. It was like, are you looking at me because it's ugly or it doesn't look right? But I can wear my hair straight and people will walk past me and it'll be like, I don't exist. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing the statement that it makes.
Wow. Yeah. Well, the beauty industry or the salon industry is, I guess I wasn't fully aware of the state of our industry around the equity and of the textured hair. And so what do you, because I think wherever we have the opportunity, we have the obligation. And so the beauty industry has a lot of opportunity and obligation. And when I say opportunity, I know you're going to be one of the panelists at Serious Business that is going to talk about how to drive and grow transactions. So with that, textured hair is a huge opportunity. And with that comes obligation. So what is it that you think that the beauty industry can do to more contribute to that? From the school level through the salon.
Stop treating it like a trend, right? Stop treating it as if it's something that is not normal. I think that as Black women, we have embraced that, over the years, that our hair is not normal. And so we do all these things to submit our hair into things that it just really shouldn't do. So I think the first start is to celebrate it. Get education in it. Doesn't matter, you shouldn't have to feel like you are subjected to just doing one type of hair. They say hair is hair, but Black hair it's different, it's deeper. There is a sense of history and culture that goes along with it, and educating yourself and not depending on women of color or people of color to educate you on that. There are things that, which I tell people all the time. I got this from Renee, the book, Untangling the Roots of Black Hair in America. The first time I even read it, it resonated with me because I didn't know I felt the things that I felt as a woman of color. And then I think that if you don't know, even if you're holding on to that baggage, if you're holding on to things that you don't even know exist, it's very important that those that are around us that have never experienced this, even from, their ancestors or their grandmothers and grandfathers. And I think that it's important that everyone educate themselves. And then have that empathy for the person in the chair. And not everybody is going to feel that way. So that's important to know too. Not everybody is going to sit in your chair. Every Black woman is going to sit in your chair and have the need or want to be educated about their history. But if you have a sense of empathy that, I know that, maybe you don't feel the most confident about your hair. It's not necessary to point that out, but it's necessary to help guide them and let them know that you understand, or that you may be approaching the skill set to be able to do their hair. That is important. And not say like, oh, your hair is so beautiful. And you tell them that, they have to believe that too. But that belief has to come from them. And it also has to come from you, and not because it's a personal opinion of yours that you love their hair. It's still a journey. It's still a struggle. There are some people that do not have the confidence to wear their hair natural, even though it is. They may not put chemical services or chemicals in it. But it's very important that you understand the versatility of textured hair and be able to accommodate any guest that sits in your chair, no matter how they choose to wear it.
Wow. So I'm curious about, I know you used to be in DC, Washington, DC. So what took you to Phoenix, Arizona?
He's now called my ex-husband.
Totally different cultures. Huh?
He's now called my ex-husband.
I'm familiar with that concept.
Yeah. So he is in the military, and we got stationed out to Luke Air Force Base here in Arizona. Uh-huh. And actually that's been the thing that I attribute to a lot of my success is the diversity of being able to travel around the country and learn about, different cultures, even within the Black community. Like Black people on the East Coast are different than the Black people on the West Coast, the white people in the South are different from the white people in the North. But it's all about, getting to know people and getting to know different cultures and, terminology, like even things that we say is different than, people in the East and the West. And so I think that moving around as much as I did really helped to catapult my career. And this is actually where I landed. Even though I divorced here, I feel like I've had the most success being here in Arizona.
Well, there you go. It's back to the intention of Serious I think that exposing yourself
Mm-hmm.
to, and right now, and speaking of, and the diversity and travel, I understand that you traveled to India with the Aveda group a few years ago. I'd love to hear about that experience.
Yeah, it's funny because the opportunity came up. I actually went with the Inspire Greatness Aveda Institutes. They were sponsoring a trip to India with Helga Hefner. And for the first time, they had opened up a study abroad to the network. Usually it's exclusive for students. So I said, you know what, I'm going to apply. And because of my, deep roots with Aveda, and I really wanted to just kind of tap into what I felt Aveda really was, because there was something that I always felt familiar with Aveda. I always felt like it felt like I was living and breathing and eating Aveda. I wanted to know more and why I was feeling this way. And the first thing I did, and I don't tell too many people this, but the first thing I did was, do Black people live in India? Do Black people exist in India? And how are they treated? And I actually learned that Black people, especially Africans, aren't treated very well there. And I think racism and colorism exist in all cultures. The lighter your skin, the more royal you are. The darker your skin, the more you're just kind of like the riffraff. You're the bottom of the totem pole, and it's very much so there. It's very prevalent in India too. I had a lot of stares. I had a lot of people looking at me, and I didn't understand why. I felt so different, but I chose to embrace the journey. At that time, I was probably about 300 pounds. So, I had a lot of attention in that manner. I had these big, beautiful braids. I'm a larger woman. At the time, the clothes that they provided, they didn't fit me, and I knew they wouldn't. So I brought some with me. And, my intention to go there was to just really get in touch with my spiritual self, and just kind of embrace everything in life with my health, my career, and my family. And, all the manifestations that came with it. Long story short, Helga and I were one of the last to hike a mountain in the Himalayas. And I didn't think I was going to make it to the top. A lot of it was because of my weight. I felt like my heart was going to come out of my chest. And she told me, we're going to make it up there before sunrise. And we got up there, and one of the Babajis on top of the mountain, took a look at me and said, this one is special. She is going to be on a stage of great magnitude. And I didn't know what that meant. I thought maybe this stage, because I'm with Aveda, is going to be Congress. And I've learned that my stage is every platform that I'm on, and to tell my story.
That's so beautiful.
It is so beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting because I know you're Aveda It Girl.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I mean, I felt, different. We have different experiences. Although, as different as we all are, a lot of that difference, I think that we personally perpetuate that, because we're so much the same. Because even though your story and your journey is, for me, the beauty industry and then Aveda has just has really connected me to what's important to me all through my life, and allowed me a platform, as you call it, to express who I am, the beauty industry. And your story is so much an example. What I think our industry is, the core and the essence of our industry is to evoke self-love.
And I love that you came full circle with that, because my brand, which you talked about, the Aveda It Girl, is the It Girl, or if you see it ever spelled, #ItGirl. But people are like, well, why would you have Aveda in your brand name? And hearing my story, and I hope that everybody can hear this, is that, it's not because Aveda is, a luxury brand, or they have a huge platform or a huge following. Aveda has done so much for me, for my family. They are like the beginning of how all these things started. And so I'm proud of that. And even though I am the Aveda It Girl, I'm still marketable everywhere. And I think that when people see that, I feel like I want to be that inspiration to others. And knowing that my brand isn't just about me, it's about anyone who is, like you said, evoking that self-love, self-worth, self-value. And that's really big on what the brand my brand stands for.
That's beautiful. Well, I can see that you are far from 300 pounds now. So I'm so curious as to what changed.
So the doctor in India, we actually went to an Ayurvedic treatment center at the Himalayan Institute of Health, which was it was led by Dr. Mumgain, and also I spent time with the Doctors Upadhyay. I don't know if you know who they are, but they're all, yeah. So he said to me, you know, they kind of did a whole evaluation of, you know, of us. And he asked me, like, just as matter of fact, it was almost offensive. Like, why are you so fat? Like, straight up. And I was like, I don't know. You tell me, why am I so fat? You know, like, I kind of got defensive. And he asked me the questions that no one's ever asked me before. Do you have diabetes? Do you have thyroid issues? Do you have all these things? And I said, I don't know. I've always been athletic. I've always, you know, been very, you know, active. And I didn't understand why all the years, why I had been so heavy. And I found out, he says, when you get back to the States, we will teach you how to eat from the ground and, you know, and have it all move through your body in a way that is natural from the earth. But when you get back to the States, I want you to go and see your doctor. And I found out that I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune disease of the thyroid. So my thyroid is being attacked, and it's just not, you know, it's in remission now, but I had to learn to eat for the disease instead of letting the disease eat me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
What an incredible story.
and Naomi, thank you so much. You know, one of the, you know, it's always, for decades, it's been, okay, these are the things are taboo that you don't talk about. You don't talk about sex. You don't talk about politics. You don't talk about religion. And that's clearly, those are all the things and much more, you know, racism, weight, all of these things, health. We have avoided as a society, not humanity, but as society, have avoided talking about all the things that we've always needed to talk about.
I feel like it's the everybody gets a trophy syndrome. Like, it's, you know, you need to make everyone else feel good. Even if it makes you uncomfortable, make everyone else around you feel comfortable. And it should be the complete opposite. We need to be open and honest about all of these conversations, because that's how we're going to grow.
That's right. That's right. Well, I just thank you so much. And thank you for being a sister that is going to continually be committed to spilling the tea.
Oh,
and
for sure.
in whatever platform it takes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do this because, you know, in the beginning, when I started all of this social stuff, I was like, I want to be popular. I want to be famous. And, you know, when I started getting more attention, it wasn't even about that. It was about, how can I inspire others to be able to feel that they can have a platform and tell their story and feel confident and know that with hard work, they can do all the things that I do.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much. Carol, thank you so much, Naomi. And I look forward to getting more of the how when you participate in Serious Business in January.
Yes, I am really looking forward to working with you and you being on the panel at Serious Business. I know you have a lot to contribute, so I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. You have a great day and a great week, and yeah, great is what we want, right?
Stay warm in that 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Debra.
Ladies.